I forgot how much of my life was lived inside of bookstores. Every day is a story. I'm Shannon Cason. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Yesterday was my mom's day. Not her birthday. This is just every week I have a mom's day, when I pick up my mom and take her on whatever errands she needs or wants to do. And it's mostly wants. TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Burlington, Macy's, CVS, Starbucks. Is always Starbucks. We spend a lot of time in Starbucks, which is all right to me. This is a joy for me to take my mom on her weekly errands. And one spot that she loves to go, and that she's always loved to go all of my life, is the bookstore. So we started this Mom Day at the Barnes & Noble on the Hill. Detroit people, especially in Downriver, we all know the Hill. And I hadn't been to Barnes & Noble in a long time. I hadn't been there in a while. But as soon as I walk in, it felt like a well-known, familiar place. I'm in a space that I've spent a lot of time reading, studying, dreaming. First, I went to the magazine racks. I haven't bought a magazine since forever. All the articles and news that I could ever look at, I have in the phone in my pocket. And I remember that I used to stare at the pictures in these magazines for the longest. The cars, the houses, style, like men's suits and different clothes. The women, I like women's style too. Speaking of women, there was the King magazine, Smooth. You remember Smooth? Maxim. Everybody knew about Maxim, all the guys. Hours of staring. And I sat on those hard benches that they have by the side of the magazine racks, and I grabbed a few magazines and I skimped a few. And my mom sat next to me with her stack of magazines, and she skimped her own too. And I almost felt like I was wasting time because I could skim so much faster with my thumb on my phone. That's what we've come to. I'm sitting there with the magazine like, this isn't as efficient as it could be. Walking around the Barnes & Noble, there's the cafe. They got Starbucks cups and Starbucks coffee in those big carafes. And there's people sitting around on the chairs, the little wooden chairs that they have in that area. They're reading their books and magazines with their coffee and pastry or water bottle. You know the place. I know this place. I walked around the aisles, literature and fiction, mysteries and thrillers, sci-fi and fantasy, romance. I never really hang out in that area. Biographies and memoirs. I love memoirs, of course, obviously. History, business and self-improvement, cookbooks, all of it's there. A lot of books in this building are the reason that I'm even doing a podcast now. I'm inspired by the books that I've read in bookstores. And looking at the bestsellers, in the middle they had the bestsellers and the new releases, and it gave me the feeling, and I'm going to be honest, every day as a story is about emotional honesty. It gave me the feeling of envy a little bit. Inspiration can turn to envy if you wait too long. And looking at those bestsellers and new releases is like a wanting and not having a book. Ideas and stories and ink on pages and the big marketing push that the publishers do, touring the stores throughout the country, signing books. It all seems so cool, but it's not my life. And if I be honest, that was the feeling that I was feeling. I'm looking at the book table. It's a guy, I don't even know who he is. I don't know if it's even a he. Ukitsu. I have no idea about this book series, but I'm looking at it and it said, strange buildings, strange houses, strange pictures. And I'm looking at the setup, and it's just so cool, just sitting there right in the front of the store for me to buy or read. And I think I'm gonna look the author up and see who that is, because it was compelling the way the setup was. Makes me want to figure out what it is, and I wish it were me. That's the feeling. You ever feel like that? Of course you have. I'm just sharing, but you lying if you say you haven't. You see what I'm doing there? You're lying if you're saying you haven't. But I caught up with my mom in the bookstore, and she was in the self-improvement section. She was looking at her books, and she's the one who first brought me to these places. Bookstores and libraries let me buy at least one book. Anytime we would go, I could buy at least one book and probably a magazine, and I, try to get a smooth magazine. I like the crime thrillers. I bought a lot of crime thrillers. Elmore Leonard, Walter Mosley, Ed McBain, Richard Stark. They're fun to read. They were like movies in my mind till they became movies on the big screen, but I can say that I had read it before I saw the movie. And I read those books, and I write my own little short crime stories. I even wrote a longer crime story about these two tennis shoe hustlers, small-time hustlers. And they had a bright idea. They lived in Chicago. Bright idea to steal expensive strollers on the north side and then resell them on Craigslist until they stole an expensive stroller outside of one of the cafes, and it had a baby in it. Then a full police chase happens, and when you follow the story, you're following the thieves, you're following the parents who lost the baby, and you're following the police who were searching for the baby. And it's thrilling, it's funny, it's good dialogue. No one in the book is really that bad or that good. It's just everybody is real people, and they're caught in this crazy circumstance of an accidental kidnapping. And it's somewhere in the tub in the basement here somewhere, or it's on a folder on my computer too. I'm gonna read a little bit of it later. I'll read it and see if it's any good. But the bookstore is full of dreams and imagination. I did buy one magazine. I bought the Time magazine. It's out now with LeBron James on the cover, and it's an article for like the 100 most influential people in sports. And I bought it for my uncle. He asked for that magazine. My uncle loves the bookstores too. The moment of meaning for me is bookstores are about imagination for me. And imagination doesn't expire unless you kill it. You got to kill it. And bookstores remind us that the next chapter is always just waiting to be started. You just got to start the next chapter. It's right there. But what about you? When's the last time you've wandered through a bookstore, grabbed a stack of magazines, or sat down with a book that you might buy, grabbed a cup of coffee or pastry, and just hung out for a long stay at the bookstore? What's your story?